Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. In the name of Allah, and peace and blessing of Allah be upon the Prophet Muhammad. In this tutorial, I will walk you through the 3D Max interface, and I will show you some tips and tricks that will help you and will make your workflow in 3D Max easier and faster. First, let's talk about the 3D Max, the main screen here. You click here and you can reset the 3D Max. What all you have done here, all the settings and all the parameters will reset, and this is very useful. It's better than making the new. If you want to keep the season settings, you can click on new all and don't save, and you will keep the settings of render settings and the material parameters and all. But what I recommend you to reset all the settings, and it's better than clicking on new. Okay, and now this is the V-Ray, the new V-Ray 3 toolbar. You will not need this if you have the older version of V-Ray. And now let's talk about the main keys and the shortcuts that we will use. First, the select and move. Click here, and here's the 3 axis, the Y axis and Z axis and X axis. You can see the highlight of each one here, and this is the X, Z and X. If you move your cursor here, and the Z and Y here, and the X and Y here. You can see that you can't go up if you click here, and here you will just go in the X axis and Y in Z axis. And if you click and move here, you will go in the all direction. This is useful when you are using the snap, but just keep it simple like that. Yeah. And if you click here and move, you will only move it on the Y axis, and here the X axis and the Z axis. This is useful. This is also useful with the snaps. Sorry for my English. And now you can move. You can select this tool by pressing on W on your keyboard. If you click Q on your keyboard, you will select the select object here, and if you click the Q again, you will change the selection region. You can see that, and this is very useful. And if I want to change it to move tool, I will click on W. You can see that, and to the rotate, I will click on E, and the scale R. And you can change the scale by pressing R again and again and again. This is very useful, and you will see that I will use this every time in 3D Max, and usually. This is the selection method you can use. This is the rectangle, the regular one. You can see that. And if you click again, this is the circle one. And this is the lasso tool, and again this is like scissor. Sorry, this is lasso, and this is the paint selection. This is very useful. You will see how this is useful in the next tutorials, inshallah. And now let's click it again. This is the rectangle and the original one. Click on W, the move tool, and E for rotating, and this is also on the axis that you are gonna use. This is the X and the Y and the Z. And click on R. This is the the select tool, and you can the scale. You can scale your object. Okay, this is the new select and place tool, which is you will find it in Autodesk 3ds Max 2015. And what this does, sorry, if you have an object and click here, you can move this on other objects like this. This is very useful when you make when you want to select and place your object where you want, and wherever you want. You can go wherever you want on any object and press shift. Sorry, if you want to make a copy or instance or reference, you can press shift and move it on the axis you want, and you can make it as a copy or instance or reference. A copy will make another one like this but have another name, different. You can change the material without changing the other one, the original one. If you make instance, this whatever you make change here. Sorry, if you change it to editable poly, and if you change the object shape, sorry, it's not working now. Sorry, I think because I changed because this is, you can see this is the cylinder and this is the editable poly. I will make another copy of this and make it the instance. I will show you here. Check it. So you can see that it's now moving. You can change whatever you want and move them around. Okay, now if I make extrude, this will change also, and this is very useful if you want. Even you can change the material. If you change the material of this one, this will also change. Okay, and now let's talk about the snap tool. You have 3 different snapping tool. This means the 2-axis and 2.5 and 3-axis. We'll only need the 2 and the 3. I think this is what I usually use. If you click here, you can see it's snapping on the grid, not on the object. So right click on the snap and uncheck the grid points and change to vertex, and now you can see the snapping is going on the vertex. Now if you click here and move, you are moving on the z-axis, on the snapping with the z-axis. Click here and move your object. You can snap wherever you want on every vertex you want to snap. If I want to make a copy and have another box here, press shift and click here and move it on the vertex you want, and now I have another copy. You can make it copy or instance. Let's change it to instance now. You can see we have it. We have snapped the object, and this is very useful when we are making an arc viz modeling, and every time when you are modeling here. And let's make another copy and move it here. Let me show you here. Click here first and then move it. You can see that it's working very well. It's very nice. Now sometimes when you have the snapping tool on, you can click on S to toggle it on or off, and this is very useful also. And you have angle snap. You can see here angle snap will work with select and rotate. See here, it's snapping with angle. You can see here it's 5, 10, 15, 20, and this is very useful also when you want the precise rotate. Okay, with the snapping tool, sometimes the snapping tool will work the 3 axis here. Here is the 3 number here. You're gonna use this in the perspective view, because you have X and Z and Y. But here you will change it to 2 because you only need the ZX and the Y and X and ZY here. And it's very useful also when you move the object here in the front view or the top view or left view, where you have the only two axes. Now let me show you. Click here and let's move this. Sorry, change to 2.5. Yeah, sorry, you have to change to 2.5 to move it with the vertex. The 2 will you will need this when you make new lines like this, and you want to snap it here. You can see that this will work with the with shapes, not with the objects. Here, shapes, not with the geometry. You can see that. If you change to 2.5, this will work with the geometry and will also work with the shapes. But sometimes when you are working with the shapes and objects, you only want to snap it with the shapes. You can change it to 2 and move it wherever you want with the shapes. You can see that, and this is very useful. Sorry, my English is very bad. I'm sorry for that. Okay, now let me talk about the create selection. This is very useful also when you have a big scene with a lot of objects and furnitures around and trees and many things. Select the objects you want and make a selection. Let's call it number 1, and this 2, let's call it number 2. And this will also work with the editable poly when you have faces like this. Sorry, when you have faces like this, you want only to select these 2 faces. Let's call it face. Now this one, call it top. This. Now when I change it to top, sorry, to the 2 face, this will also change. This is very useful when you want to make different selection and different materials here and here, and you can choose them here from here very easily. And if you turn this off, you will find the other selection with the objects. If you click number 1, you're gonna select the number 1 objects where you have make a selection and save them, and here too. And let's talk about the mirror tool. Mirror, select these objects and click on mirror. You can see nothing changed here. Change the axis and you're gonna see, sorry, click on copy and then change the axis. You can see what happened. This is very useful when you want to make a chair, make a half of the chair of the front of the sofa, and when you click on Y and the mirror and make another half of the sofa, like when you make a car, you will make only the one side and make a mirror to make a copy for the other side. Sorry, click OK, and now you have another one. If you want, you can change the axis and move it around to have them like this. So let me show you. Select the number 2 and now go to change the effect pivot point and move them where you want. This will affect the mirror tool also, because the mirror will work with the pivot point where you have set it. Now click on mirror Now you have them right here. Okay, and this is the align, sorry, this is the manage layer, and this is also useful when you have a lot of objects like sofa, and you have parts with the sofa. You can select them and make a new layer for them. Click here, click new layer, and name them. Let's call it sofa, and you can hide them like this, and this is very useful. And you can freeze them. Let's show them and freeze it, so you can see that I can't move them around. Or you can freeze all the objects inside this layer. Okay, and you can make them unrenderable, and this will make him like what's called bounding boxes. You can make it as a bounding box. You can see that, and this is very useful when you want to see what's on the other side. You have also the material editor. You can select this by clicking on M on your keyboard, and the render settings here, and you can change you can change your render engine here. This is the iRay, Mint Array, and V-Ray 3. Click it, and now everything changed to the new engine. And now let's see. This was the basics of 3ds Max, and the basic of interface, and this will make your workflow very easy and fast. And you can see that I'm moving the interface with the pen tool. You can select this from here, and the rotate from here, and the zoom from here, but you can use them all by using your mouse without going here and again here and change the view. This is very painful. So you can use your mouse. Click on the middle button of your mouse, the wheel. Click it and move it, and the wheel will make the zoom out and zoom in. And if you click on Alt or on your keyboard and the middle button of your mouse, you can rotate, and this is very useful. And if you click on Control and the middle button of your mouse, you can make it zoom in, zoom out without the wheel. Okay, and if you have objects and shapes and lights, camera, if you click here, you only move the shapes. You can see that. If I have some shapes here and I want to select them, I can select them without affecting the objects. If I change the geometry, I can't move the shapes. And also if I have lights and camera helpers on the wall. And now let's see, we have here, you can change the the coordinate system. Here I'm moving them on the view where I'm looking. If I change it to the local, you can see the axis changed. Here's what I see, and here's the local axis of the object. You can see that it's moving here like this way. If I change it to view, I will change it like the view that I'm seeing. This is my view. You can see that. But if I change it to the local, I'm moving it with the local of the object, and this is very, very useful. You can see that I can move them very precise and the direction I want. If I change it to the screen, you can see we'll make it on the screen, like the screen of your laptop or your computer. It's different from the view. You can see that this is the view of the perspective, and here's like the 2D shape. You can see. Okay. Sorry. And here is the render frame window. You will not need this if you are using the V-Ray. You can find the V-Ray frame buffer here. Right click and V-Ray frame buffer. This is very useful. And you can click render to render the production. And this is the V-Ray engine without any lights and camera. I hope you like this tutorials, and I'm very sorry for my English. It's very bad because I haven't made any tutorials for like a year. I didn't speak in English, and I will be better inshallah in next videos and next tutorials, and I will make more tutorials. Thanks for watching, and sorry for my bad English. See you next time inshallah.